Hello everyone, and we are back for another Racing Social weekend preview. I've got Matty with me and the returning Dawn. Dawn, how are you feeling this week?
I'm feeling fantastic, Joe. Champ Kylie, you know yourself, he breathed life back into me. There wasn't much left of me. And then when that happened, I ran in my 6-inch heels. I was floods of tears. I cried, Emily cried, Champ Kylie cried. It was a beautiful thing. So yeah, I'm ready and good to go, thanks to Champ Kylie.
Good to hear. And Matty, how's your week been since I last spoke to you?
Yeah, been fine. Horses are still running well. Weather hasn't been great, but there we go. What can you do? Proper
Quick
national hunt weather.
That's it. It is proper heavy ground everywhere. So we're going to quickly speak about last week's event and Dawn, the returning Davy Russell.
Sure, God, I didn't want to believe it. And then when I heard it, and you know, when something is too good to believe that it's going to be true. And then last night the phone pinged and pinged and pinged and pinged and pinged. So we were going, yes, it's true. It's true. I mean, like, they're all talking about the golden age of Ruby and Barry and AP and Davy. And have we got the last unicorn, really? He's returned. And it's just, it's brilliant. And he's fit as a flea. He's raring to go. And he starts at Fairy House on Saturday with Jazzy Matty, you know, who I am very bullish about for the Triumph. Delta Works little bro. So a great way to start. And look, all the talks with Jack, and the sooner the better he's back as well. But I am celebrating Davy being back too. It's just glorious. All is right with the world. It was too soon for him to go. Too soon.
And Matty, how many signatures do you reckon we'll get to get Ruby and Barry back for a year?
Oh God. Whew. I think we'll just enjoy Davy being back before we start wishing on stupid things like that.
So staying with you, Matty, I know you actually tipped up the Tolworth winner last week. What do you think about the race going forward?
Listen, it's probably not the strongest renewals on paper, but listen, the horse only beat what was in front of him. He travelled so well, especially he jumped the second last, and he was still hard on it.
Yeah,
obviously pricked his ears and idled on the run in, and still very green and raw. But going forward, you know, I'm a big fan of the horse, and I can't wait for March. I'm on at big prices. So
Supreme,
yeah, Supreme. Well, both. I'm on at Supreme and Ballymore, both at 33s. Not often does an anti-post like that work for me. Usually they're down in the bin by December. Never mind January.
At least you get a run this time, though.
Well, that's exactly.
But Dawn, obviously you return from your sickness bed to go on racing on Sunday, and you mentioned Champ Kylie there, but just moving forward, Champ Kylie, he's definitely a contender for Cheltenham, isn't he?
Oh, completely. And the whisperings were that, you know, he'll place in Grade 1, which that's what you want to hear, you know. Now he's 25 still for the Supremes. He hasn't come off that. He was 16s for the Ballymore. He's now into 6s, which, you know, you're very, very tight there. And they're saying for a long time you haven't seen a 7-year-old win the Ballymore. And then the Albert Bartlett, he's still 16s. I still have him at 25 to the Supremes. Yes, I did take him the other day. I took him at 8s before Christmas. I said it to everyone when I knew that he was going to Naas. And I was delighted. And then I had my cheeky little £5, which paid for a dress for Ascot in June. So he's dressed me for one of the days at Ascot. But wherever he goes, I will follow. I just think, and the way, you know, you forget about what happened in the Royal Bond. I think you forget about that now after seeing the way he performed at Naas, the way Danny spoke about him. And Danny even made sure he said that, like, he pulled too hard in the Royal Bond too. So that could have been a little bit of the problem. The ground was different, yes. And I know we do have this big question about soft, heavy. Does he go on the heavy? What way will Mother Nature treat us at Cheltenham? Heaven knows, heaven help us. But I very, very happy and very confident to say that he's going to be top 3 at Cheltenham, whatever he goes into. He's fantastic. He's fantastic. Those 3 horses that you've seen at Naas on Sunday, the 3 of them. And let's not forget about Dawn Rising either. I know Irish Point straight to Cheltenham, but Dawn Rising was very, very respectable there too. You know, so you've seen 3 very, very good horses. But Champ Kylie, I just adore him. I adore him. I'd follow him off the face of the earth.
Good. Can't believe you mentioned Ascot and Summer there, Dawn. What are you doing to me?
I need the sun. I'm turning into a vampire. I need sun.
Matty, appreciate it. Won on Sunday as well. Mullins has got some ammo for the Arkle. Now we've seen them all run. Who's his best 2-mile novice chaser in your opinion?
It's a tough one. I actually thought he's very good at Naas at the weekend. He's not my ideal Arkle winner. He's just another horse I can't take to for some strange reason. Willie Mullins too much. He's got so many.
I still like El Fabiolo.
Well, he got close to John Bon. He was very impressive. A few little mistakes here and there, but you're going to be for a novice chaser. If he slickens up that come March, he's going to be bang there. Yeah, I probably agree. El Fabiolo. He obviously tested John Bon at Aintree. Yeah, El Fabiolo for me, definitely.
Okay, you're a massive appreciated fan, aren't you, Dawn? Well, fan of them all, really, but appreciate it as a looker, isn't he?
Oh, he's beautiful. And that's why I'm looking forward to seeing him and John Bon. I think the 2 of them up the hill fighting out. You could say Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. The 2 of them are just, I adore taking pictures of Appreciated. He looks at you and he goes, yeah, I am gorgeous and I am the absolute shizzle. And I think I'm going to disagree with Matty. I do like El Fabiola. I do like him a lot, but Appreciated, he was so full of it coming back in the parade ring. He was ready to go round again. Like people say, we learned nothing from Naas on Sunday, but I seen him at Punchestown 3 weeks before then as well. And I just went, he's making it easy looking. He's just going, yeah, what of it? And I think he will put it to John Bon. But like that, he's one of my favorites to photograph. He's just so photogenic. He blue steals it all the time. So on looks wise and everything else, and for the Arkle, for me, it's Appreciated to put it to John Bon.
About Appreciated is one stunning specimen of a horse. His confirmation, everything about him. He's so big, so strong, so well put together. To look at. He's very, very nice.
Me and Dawn were talking the other day about the Arkle. You've got to appreciate it, John Bon. If Alpha be it's like an equine catwalk. It could be. They're all fantastic animals. So we won't start thinking about Arkles and stuff like that anyway. Yeah, there's a long way to go. So this week we're going to get stuck to the ITV races again from Warwick and Kempton. We can't promise 50-1 winners every week, can we? But I'll happily take that on the last week. Yeah, we can try. I don't think there is any this week, unfortunately. Start off at Warwick, if that's okay. The 150 Grade 2 novice chase. 4-runner field, Matty. 6-5 favourite for Paul Nicholls. Yard in flying form as they have been all season. Lorcan Williams on. What's not to like?
Well, exactly. You tell me what's not to like. Obviously, the complete unknown. He won the EBF final at Sandown last season. I thought a Foss Lassie was exceptional. We had the favourite in the race, Bout Greatness, and we obviously think the world of him. We thought he'd win that day, to be fair. Obviously, Complete Unknown had a bit of a layoff as well. But turning for home, it looked like Complete Unknown had just started the race 4 out. Come there tanking, hard on the bridle. And I really, really like the way this horse jumped on its novice chase debut. 6-5. What's not to like about him? I think he just wins.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, he beat First Lord Coué, giving away £7 or something like that. and he went close to Sunday behind a John Joe hot pot. I think Completer knows much better chase than he's a hurdler. Visually impressive last time out. More to come, like you say, 6-5. Lorcan on. What's not to like? Dawn, I know the Skeltons are they rate their mare quite a bit, but she's got to be something above average to beat the Nichols horse, hasn't she?
She does. I'm not going to even try to pronounce her name. I won't offend your ears with it, but the English translation is Galleons of Battens or something. And is she a batten? Will she take on the favourite? I don't know. I mean, she pulled up a Kempton, okay, so we won't hold that against her. She had that nice 9-length win on the soft as well, which I liked. Would I like to see Harry Hawkwing over the line? Yes, I would. I'd love to see it. I can't be backing something that tight. Although, you know, the wise person in me, and of course, I love seeing Lorcan win anywhere as well. The wise person in me says, you know, that other horse can't be bet. And let's not forget, and you know where I'm going to go with this, Gordon is sending one over as well. You've got the Goffer. So by Yates, and you know, I'm a sucker for a Yates.
Yeah.
Decent bit of form, you know, was fourth to Jerry Columby. So, and you know, we've seen Jerry Columby, who's unbeaten. Won a beginner's chase at Thurles 49 days ago. And kind of he had beaten Indiana Jones that day, you know, the way I've been talking about him a little bit. He was good at Naas the other day, although he was beaten by Shaky Try. And then his latest run, he was, now look, okay, it was 11 lengths, but we're talking about El Fabiola there. He was second to Hador, who runs at Punchestown on Sunday, who was also second to El Fabiola. So a little bit of digging, a bit of 4-1 value. I know we're only going to get paid out the 1-2. Over the Skelton's mare, I'm not taking the Fav, and I know there's only 4 in it, so you're going, well, what the hell? But I'm going to stick with Ireland, and I'm going to go with a bit of value, and I'm going to say Gordon's not sending him over for nothing, you know, and it's good form there. You've got a nice bit. The more you dig, the more you see.
Okay, one for the Irish for Dawn. So we move on now to the 225, which is the Grade 2 novice hurdle. This is one of some nice types in the past, and from my looking at the minute, we've got co-favourites, 3 of them, 7-2. So very competitive market early on, Matty. Guinea's Destiny, Grey Dawn, and Knowsley Road. What do you like?
Well, I like Knowsley Road. Another one for the Nichols team. His novices seem to be absolutely firing this year. He won actually the same day as tomorrow did at Chepstow. He won the second. I think he won the second division of the novice hurdle, the same or the other novice hurdle on the card. Yeah, you know, Nichols novice hurdlers are just exceptional this year. You've got Timoris, Hermes Allen. They can do nothing wrong. And yeah, he won with a penalty last time. He's obviously improving. Who knows how the season is with this horse? It's quite a good race. I quite like the race. Ben trained to win a few years ago, Willoughby Court.
Yeah.
It's quite a good race, as you said. It's got some good winners of the past. But yeah, Knowsley Road, 7-2, 3-1. Yeah, that's my play.
Yeah. Go on, any of the favourites take your eye?
Well, I like Knowsley Road. I'm kind of split, but then I go Grey Dawning. You know what's in a name as well. They're both Flemsfords, which I'm a sucker for a Flemsford, so I'm split both ways. I totally agree with what Matty said. I went digging. But Grey Dawning won on Boxing Day at Kempton. Really, really liked the way he, you know, a good grey gelding. He's gorgeous to look at. We're talking about our lookers as well. And even though he got bumped that day, he fought back. And you Theatre Glory, who we mention a lot here, and you know, we wait for that win to come. Theatre Glory was third, Bomber Liston was fourth, both Nickies. I really, really like Grey Dawning, and he sticks in the mind. And again, Harry and Dan on a Saturday, you'd be foolish not to want to play at 7-2. You know, you value there as well. So out of the two Flemonsforts, it's Grey Dawning for me.
Yeah, I can see the Grey Dawn angle, especially with Skelton's local track at Warwick. They always do well there. Ginny's Destiny, it's highest rated, but impressive last time out. But the form is very questionable. Where Knowsley Road, these 2 hurdle wins, they've got substance to them. I think there's 4 or 5 next time out winners have come from the 2 races. The latest one was on Sunday at Chepstow, I think. He's a solid option here. Ground no issue. Like we said, it's a bit like deja vu. Nichols, Lorcan, what's not to like? So move on now to the Classic Chase. And again, I love this race every single year. I mean, who doesn't like 3 mile plus chases around Warwick? Always a good spectacle to see. And Dawn, you can set us off.
Okay, well, we're going 3 ways here, Joe, right? Okay, we've got, and I love this saying, and it's a bit of a Carlo saying, would you be well? And Emma Lavelle's Would You Be Well? I liked her. She was talked up for the Welsh National. I mean, she bloody well had to fight because that Welsh National was a slog and a half. Then I throw in a bit of a, you know, I love a ginge. Dingo Dollar, Sandy Thompson. He's got Alice Stevens up. She takes 7 off.
7, yeah.
20-1, you know, and look, he's a bit of Laham Press, albeit he was a good bit back from Laham Press, and we'll forget about Laham Press's little mistake Boxing Day. You know, I'm going to forget about that completely. But he was 6 to him at Newcastle, and he's just, look, he's 11 now, but you know, I wouldn't begrudge him to win that. I love Sandy Thompson, and I think that's a valuable 7 coming off. And then King Willie is sending one over, Mr. Incredible, who was originally with Henry de Bromhead, had been second to one of our favourites, Galia de Menil, in a bumper. Had won at Nace twice, beating, again, I'll mention Indiana Jones of Mouse Morris. Was second to a Hoy Senior in the novice chase. Okay, 31 lengths again. But look, he didn't run that well. You kind of wonder, was the form off a little bit? I went through the betting. He's 5-1 at the moment. Brian Hayes is up 7. Has he lost love of the game, or has he lost form? But he was brought down in Real Steel's race, and Real Steel's race was a good race at Christmas. I mean, it was the real talking race. I wouldn't take any of that into account. What I'd do is I'd go back to when he was with Henry, and I'd say, if there's something there, Willie has found it, and that's why he's sending him over. So between the 3, where do I lie again? Do I go to Ireland? I'll go to Ireland, but I'll definitely be having a little couple of dollars on Dingo Dollar.
And Dingo Dollar has got some wishing and hoping form in there. Remember?
Exactly, yeah.
Matty, I looked at Mr. Incredible, but he was hardly tried for Henry, and I know Willie Mullins is a genius, but so is Henry. So I'll put me off that. If Henry can't do it, what makes you think Willie Mullins can? How do you see this race?
Well, I can be completely biased and say Mr. Park, he's my ride every day at home. I love him to pieces. And to be fair, I might be a little bit biased, but this is a type of race that'll suit him down to the ground.
Range come, hasn't it?
Range come. He goes on soft, heavy. To be fair, he's quite versatile. He can go on any ground, sort of thing. Yeah. He was sort of unexposed over the marathon trips before running at Haydock last time. First time over 3.5. He carried 11 stone 11 that day and finished 3rd. First run of the season, so we were all delighted with that. He got a nice weight of 10 stone 11 or 10 stone 12. Obviously, Luca Morgan, he couldn't be in any better form.
No.
Yeah, I am being completely biased. And if he wins, I'll be definitely having a few more of these.
You definitely need a few more bottles.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'm going to stick with Nesta Park, mainly with my heart. But yeah, we'll stick with Nesta.
The good thing about this race, you're going to have two old greys going hammer and tongs from the very start. That's Volcano. Unfortunately for him, he's £10 out of the handicap, and Commodore. So seeing them two go off hammer and tongs from the front round Warwick, that's going to be some sight. Is 305 too classy for this, Matty?
No, I don't. Well, possibly might be too classy. Has he got the sort of the slog, the staying ability to lug 12 stone or 11, 12 round there? I read somewhere
too fast for this.
Yeah, I read somewhere the other day that there's never been a horse that's won the race that's carried over 11 stone 10.
Yeah.
So it's a mighty ask. And at 5-1 favourite, 11-2, he's definitely not for me.
I've seen a few people tip him up. I actually think it's Guatapan Collonge. Took the step up to 3 miles in February in his stride. Returned this season with victory here at Warwick. It won easier than he looked to me. I think he had plenty in the tank at the end. He looks a thorough stayer to me, which is ideal for this race. He's unexposed. Richie McClernand, I quite like him on chasers because when it comes to it, he can really make the horse's mind up and really throw him at a fence. And that's what you're going to need here. You're going to need to hold your position at times. You're just going to have to just keep jumping, stay. It's going to be a proper slog. And I think Guatapan Collonge, unexposed, and for all conquering JP Manus. Charlie Longsdon, he's slowly getting some nice horses back in the yard now after a bit of a dry spell, and it's great to see him. I think he had a winner on New Year's Day at Cheltenham, I believe, didn't he? Yeah, I think he did. So great to see Charlie. He's a top fella. So yeah, Guatapan Collonge for me. So we're going to move on to the per temps qualifier now, Warwick, and the Irish love a per temps qualifier, don't they?
Oh God, they love it, and I mean we're throwing every dart at the board, aren't we? Too,
Especially this per temps qualifier always attracts. Gordon loves this one, doesn't he?
Gordon loves it, and look, Ronald Pump is making the voyage over too. Who has enjoyed the backside of Honeysuckle twice. So now he's with a new trainer now, Kieran Murphy, and he was third at Clonmel. He went off favourite that day. Paul was riding him, but he ended up third. I was delighted because Floror found his old form again, and I think I took him at 12s. But Ronald's coming over, Sire de Burley's coming over, Tiger Roll's bestie. We can't forget about his great run at Aintree last year. I don't know what the hell's happening now. Maybe he's I don't know. I know Gordon will find whatever is happening there. Maybe he's just having a bit of a mood. I don't know, but he's coming over as well.
Level ending.
Level ending is interesting because I went. I love going back. Not back to the future, but back. And when level endings was with Joseph, actually bet Merlin Giant. And I have a bit of an obsession with Dad's Lad as well. So you've got the Merlin Giant Dad's Lad form in there. Then Wrexham, who is one of my 5 to follow, was 4th to Wrexham at Killarney. Then you've got the Grand Soir form in there too. Who was second to Hunter's Yarn, who I seen at Nace on Sunday too, who I just love. That's another double green who is a beaut. But if I'm not going to be glamoured by the Irish, Ashtown lad, there's something special about him. I can't forget his last run. I thought he was just brilliant. He's got 10-9. He's 10-9. He's skeletons. He was third to a Hoist and Yor back in February last year at Weatherby, and Noble Yates was second that day. So as much as I love the Irish, and I'm going to be very interested to see how level ending runs, because there's a lot of form there about horses that I'm very, very interested in. Ashtown lad looks like the one to beat. Just too good to ignore.
This is a horrible race, mate. Proper dodge pots in it for me. I mean, on the blind side, I used to love him, but even with the £10 claim run, he just seems to have fallen out of love with the game.
Yeah, I totally agree. I can't work these Potemps qualifiers out. It is like a Rubik's Cube. It is impossible. You don't know what's coming to finish fourth, third, second. You don't know what. You just don't know. On the blind side, as you said, yeah, probably has fell out of love with the game. But there's got to be a reason why Nicky's still running him.
Yeah. £10 claim, I suppose. You just think
yeah. I've actually gone with Glimpse of Gala, just purely the fact that it's an informed horse, and I don't think the final of this at the festival is Glimpse of Gala's aim. I think if they can win a decent pot this Saturday with her, then brilliant. Obviously, Bradley Roberts has won her the last time. She was second to Honor Gray of ours at Aintree. Honor Gray's a decent yardstick for us. Obviously, Glimpse of Gala's in good form. Longston started to come into form, as you just said. Starting to get some nice horses. 6-1, more than a fair price. But yeah, these Potemps qualifiers, they're just a nightmare to work out.
I'm with you on Glimpse of Gala, actually. Up £5 for a Kempton win. I watched that race back and she was on the pump a long way from home. But not once did she throw the towel in. And eventually, while others cried off, she just kept going and she went past Cocklicott, who I like. She's a very good Hunterball mare. She's very good. So in these conditions, some of these are going to dodge it. They are going to, and she isn't. So just a matter of elimination. She's a solid option for me. Like I say, 6-1, 7-1. I think that's a fairly decent price. So that's it for the action at Warwick. We're going to switch over to Kempton now. We're going to start off with which race are we on? The 2, the Silviano Conti Chase. Fantastic race again this year. Pic Dory, Dawn would tell you, I'm a massive fan of Pic Dory. I mean, Paint the Dream is likeable, but his best form is at Newbury. Newbury, Kempton are chalk and cheese. The thing about Pic Dory that worries me, still worry about him if he ever got eyeballed after the last. I think he could be one of them to shirk a challenge. But if he repeats his Peterborough Chase performance, I don't think there will be anything good enough to get upside him after the last. Bit boring. Nichols again, 6-4, but I think Pic Dory wins this. Dawn, are you a Pic Dory?
Yeah, I can't see past him, Joe. Apart from, look, if it all falls asunder, and you know with racing sometimes it does, but if it can't be Pic Dory, let it be St. Calvados, David Maxwell. You know, we say it a lot, but he's fantastic for racing. He's 4-1 there. St. Calvados, look, he's another old favourite, and it's a Saturday story. If you're going to go the Hart way, but Pic Dory, you can't see past him. That win at Huntington, he was fantastic. He was just great. You've that Miller's Bank form, First Flow form, Bet Ciel de Nij, who I think an awful lot of back in 2020, third to Laham Press. What more do you want? You know, Pic Dory on a Saturday, yes, please. David Maxwell, second. Thank you. I'm happy.
Okay. Matty Angel's breath actually returns in this race. I think it's nearly 4 years off the track.
It's astonishing, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because everyone thought it wasn't around anymore as such. Interesting, Sam Thomas obviously got it now. But yeah, I'd like him to run well. Yeah. I can't see Yankees Breath winning this. If he holds his own for a long way and comes home in his own time, then brilliant. It'd be great to see. But yeah, Pic Dory should take the world of beating. He was very, very good at Huntingdon. As you said, I would agree with the fact if someone eyeballed him after the last, would he throw in the towel? Possibly. But nothing will get within 2 lengths of him coming in the last. Don't worry about being eyeballed. Yeah, he's just going to be hard to beat, isn't he? Okay,
full house for Pic Dory. So I'm running before I can walk. We missed out the 130, so we'll nip back and go to the Kempton 130, which is a handicap chase. over 3 miles. Trappy little affair. Some of these, again, they're not the most consistent horses, Dawn. And Rillo's been highly tried. I think Tyrell Tapper had an entry at Warwick, but he comes here instead. Smarty Wild's running into a bit of form, and Kitty's Light doesn't seem the force of old. I mean, take your pick, really.
Yeah, I looked at Kitty's Light. You know, I remember the good runs. I tend to remember with these horses the good times, but I've gone with Percussion instead. So, you know, like anybody who's a bit of a music fan, there's a nice bit of form there. And what I like is Laura Morgan. I was reading a bit of her history, and she worked with the Great Black Caviar before she came home, and then went to John Joe's and was traveling head girl. Her strike rate is quite good for January too, you know. But looking at Percussion, you've got Ashtown Lad form in there, was third to Ashtown Lad. Last win was a handicap chase in Sowell in May. Yes, it was on good. I know we're a little bit soft at the moment, but third in the Grand Sefton to Al Dance. So you've Gish Kill, I think it is, Gish Kill, who was second to Ashtown Lad. Again, I'm going with that form. And you've Lifetime Ambition form in there too, who I seen in the John Durkin against Gallopin des Champs. So I'm going with the Gish Kill, the Ashtown Lad, Gallopin des Champs type of approach. Also, I'd like to see Laura have a win on a Saturday. It'd be brilliant for her. And Percussion just really stuck out to me. Really stuck out to me. So decent value. Gavin Sheen's up 7-1. I'd be happy enough with her.
Okay. They do say never go back once you walk away. However, guilty as charged. Now is the time to go back. One of my favourite horses a couple of years ago, and that was Light. Down to 135. Last time out was a step in the right direction, sort of. Wouldn't be confident like, but I think he's slowly coming back to himself. I mean, it wouldn't harm him if they rode him a bit more prominent. He has always gives himself way too much to do. Even when he's winning races, he was doing it the hard way. So Kitty's Light for me, but it's just a matter of elimination, really. I think if he is coming back to himself, he'll run a big race, and at 12-1, you can't discount him. Martin, not the race to be confident in, is it really?
No, it's not. It's quite a difficult trappy race, as you said. There's not an awful lot with standout form, recent form anyway. Attentive selections, and Sam. Obviously, he's a bit of a lunatic. He's a bit of a hot-headed lunatic, to say. He sweats up, and he's a bold front runner. I was there at Ascot the day he ran. I backed him at Ascot, actually. He was white with sweat. He bolted over the first 3. He headbutted the next 2, and it was carnage from the word go. But to be fair, he stuck to the task. Although he was well beaten in the end, he was still there, sort of turning in. He's been dropped £4 in 2 runs so far this season, which on the scale of things, handicappers doesn't usually drop him that quickly. He finished 3rd round Kempton towards the end of last season. I think a sharp track like Kempton, bold front runner, off 135. He could just slip away from them, but not a strong selection anyway.
Okay, so we'll fast forward then to the 240 Lanzarote Hurdle, and once again, it's a very good field. And I think Matty, if you want to set us off, I know you've got a horse in here who is very good chance, and obviously a horse you like a lot. My baby. I've rode him every day for the last 4 years. Quinta Dumar. He's an absolute gentleman. Love him to pieces. I've had some great days with him. He's ran at Aintree Festival. He ran in the Mountain Pipe. He ran in this race last year. He's won the Salmon Spray twice at Fontwell. Listen, if he runs to form and holds his own, he'll be bang there. You mentioned Fontwell. The form of that's worked out well, isn't it?
the form of Fontwell's worked out fantastic. Irish Hill, he beat by a head. Freddie Gingle rode that day, took £10 off.
Yeah.
He's then followed up at Taunton. Brownie Frost rode him. Won the. Oh, sorry, Cobden rode him at Taunton. Won, and then he went to Fakenham last week and won again. Brownie rode and then Gary Moore's horse that's finished sixth in the race at Fontwell, Gaggio, something like that. That's come out and won at Leicester since. So the form's stacking up great. But can I be biased again and choose my lad again?
Of course you can.
All right. So my heart says Quinta Demar. My head, I picked Scarface.
Okay.
I think he's a very, very unexposed horse. Upper mark 126, could be quite lenient. He won a novice hurdle at, I want to say, Plumpton. And then followed up at Kempton, although it was only a 3-runner race. He battled right to the line with the £7 penalty. This horse ran in the Ballymore behind Sir Gerard. So they obviously like it a lot to bang it in the Ballymore. Listen, 126, 16 to 1 each way. Could be a nice each way bet. But Quinta Demar, Scarface. Yeah, head says Scarface, Quinta Demar says from my heart.
Okay. I'm going to have two selections as well, don't be greedy. So before I get greedy, what do you like in the race? Obviously, apart from Quinta de la Mar, obviously.
Oh yeah, and look, we'll all look. If it comes in from Matty, we're all going to Lanzarote together. You know, they do a deadly cheap knockoff bag in Lanzarote. I need a few new ones, so I'll be hoping for Matty that the horse comes in, because I love a story, But God, I'm a greedy girl too, in this way, and I'm going head, heart, or whatever else. You've got Pentland Hills in there. Heaven knows what's going to happen there at 28 to 1. Comprand, okay? I go with what I know. And it rained cats and dogs in April for the Punchestown Festival. And I stood there. I came home 2 stone heavier with the rain that attached itself to my jumpsuit. He bet Adamantly Chosen, who, I bang on about him. He's one of my 5 to follow too, who was close to Jerry Columby at Christmas. I know he unseated. I know Comprand got unseated at Exeter, so we'll never know what happened with Mac Fabulous that day. He was 4 to 4 in his last run. But there's something about that horse. And you remember, Joe, I was going, I can't remember the JP horse. I can't remember. He was haunting me. He's there at 16s with Aidan Coleman. I'm going to have a little play. And also, talking about little plays, Outlaw Peter, 3rd to the Horsegasmic, Constitution Hill, way back when. We'll go all the way back. And when he was originally with Shark Hanlon, and 2nd to poor old Three Striped Life when he was with Shark Hanlon. So I like the look of him. He's 5 to 1. His last win was on good. I know the ground mightn't exactly go in his favour. And just for interest's sake and to annoy you, I'm going to throw in a flatty. Staghorn. I'm not saying he's going to win, but he was 4th to Stradivarius at one stage, and he's had Holly Doyle on his back a good few times. So he interests me a lot. But look, in my heart of hearts, I want Matty to have his winner. And in my head, I'm going to be greedy and have 2. I'm going to go Comprand and I'm going to go Outlaw Peter. Comprand for the value, Outlaw Peter for the win, because you've got Constitution Hill in there.
Okay. So I'm going to shock you here, though. My first selection, Staghorn. There you go. 280 days off. However, before his 2 Grade 1 defeats with Cheltenham and Aintree, he was on a roll. He won at Warwick on this day. I think the Ballymore, the Leamington Novices, Grade 2 Novice Hurdle. He beat Gentleman at Arms. who, Gentleman Arms himself, he went close at Aintree behind Gelino Bello, who is the horse I like very highly. He's still only a 6-year-old stag on it. 135. It's possible that improvement is there to come. He's not ground dependent. It's too big a price to ignore. I mean, the 2 grade 1s, they were both over 3 miles. It's possible grade 1 3-mile stretches his stamina. Back and trip here, I think he's a massive price, and he's not here after the big layoff for no reason. So he's an each way player in my opinion. And then last year's winner, Cobbler's Dream, he can't be ignored. I know he'd be bidding to be the first horse to win back-to-back Lanzarote hurdles, but I don't know how many have tried. I don't know if does anyone know that?
No.
I haven't a clue myself. So last year he won off 128, second in the Mountain Pipe off 136, ignore Aintree. He went chasing this season, 2 seconds is hardly a disaster, but he looks more at home hurdling. So you can see why they've rolled the dice and they're coming here for a back-to-back win. 138 here, which is only £2 higher than his Mountain Pipe second. So he's in the ballpark still. Course and distance winner. He's very consistent. Aintree, and there was another run. But apart from them 2, he's only been out the front 2 twice in his career. So under rules. So he's an ultra consistent horse. He'll go very close, in my opinion, for back-to-back Lanzarote hurdles. So Cobbler's Dream and Staghorn for me, both at double-figure prices. So before we leave the this week's preview, we're going to start off with a Race Associate Lucky 15. We'll put it up on the channel after the preview. So Matty, you're going to do an each way Lucky 15 for the viewers, and obviously we're going to put it on as well. Matty, you can go first. What's your selection?
Nesta Park in a Classic Chase.
Okay.
He's it's more heart, but yeah, I think he'll run well.
Yeah. What, you probably get 5 places in that, won't we?
Yeah, definitely, especially on the day. Yeah, definitely.
Dawn, you can go second.
Well, the first Fairy House on Saturday, Joe, I'm banging on about the Triumph Hurdle, and we've got Jazzy Matty, we've Blood Destiny, and we've Newsret all going head to head. And to me, that is going to be one sexy race. I mean, we're going to learn a lot. So can I throw Jazzy Matty with Davy back from retirement?
Yeah.
Throw him in there.
Okay. I'm going to let's put in Cobbler's Dream in the Lanzarote just for a bit of boost the price up. And we need a 4th selection. So if anyone wants to shout one up or agree on anything, then any options?
Ooh. It has to be the weekend, does it, Joe?
Yeah.
Well, I like the look of, I mentioned him earlier, and he's got Al Fabiola form. Hador and Punchestown on Sunday. Or are we only going Saturday?
No, it's fine. You can do Sunday for.
Yeah. Hador. Hador.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll get that up on the page after the preview. So once again, thanks for coming tonight, and once again, thanks for watching. Matty, all the very best for the weekend with your runners.
You might not see me next Thursday if both my horses win. I'll still be out celebrating somewhere.
Oh, you can take your phone to Lanzarote if that's where you're off.
Well,
bring me a handbag.
Yeah, I'll be celebrating. And listen, I'm just hoping for 2 good runs and 2 safe returns. Anything else is a bonus.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Good stuff. So you join us next weekend when I understand it, Ascot and Haydock take centre stage. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.